So welcome students for today's lecture. So in this video we're going to learn about how to create a Simulink model for pulse full control rectifier with R load. So already I done the simulation, but here we will see the step-by-step procedure to build the simulation. So now we will start our simulation. So first step was create a Simulink model. Okay, we got the Simulink model. Now we're gonna add the required elements. Okay. Before that, what we need. So for that we will go to our circuit diagram. So this is a circuit diagram. So here we need a AC supply, one component, and 4 thyristor. Okay, and then load, and then pulse. So we have to give pulse for each thyristor. For that we need pulse generator. And you have to measure the output current and output voltage. For that we need some measurement block, and you need to measure the input voltage. For that also we need a voltage measurement block, and we have to see the output waveform. For that we need a scope. Okay, first of all we will add the required components. We will start with the sinks. So sinks we have scope. So first I will add the scope. Okay, then I will move to Simscape. So in Simscape we have fundamental blocks. So in fundamental blocks we have electronics. So we need 4 thyristor. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We have added 4 thyristor. Okay. So the scope block. So then we need to add an AC voltage source, single phase AC voltage source. I have added the same here. Okay. Need loads. Okay. For that, add the series RLC branch. First we will make the connection for this one. Okay. After that we will add the measurements. So as per your circuit diagram, so here this is your anode, this is your cathode, and this is the gate. So just to rotate the resistor, if you click the Control R, it will rotate. Okay. So just to change the resistor like this. So 1, 2. So here's the third one. Here's the fourth one. Okay. We have the AC voltage source, anode to cathode here, and anode to cathode here. The AC voltage is connected to this point here, and AC voltage is connected to this point. So this is a thing. Okay. Next you have to add measurement blocks. Okay. For that, here we have so current measurement to measure the output current, and voltage measurement. We need 2 blocks, one for output voltage, one for input voltage. So input voltage I'll add here, output voltage I'll add here. This is the current block. Okay. So you have to connect the current in the plus, so just like your ammeter. So plus to inverts and minus to outwards. Okay. Similarly, the cathode is connected to the cathode here. Here anode is connected to same anode. Okay. Now we need load. So we're going to select the resistive load, that is R load. So I will choose the resistor value as 100. Okay. So similarly, I'll just Control R to rotate the resistor, and I'm adding the negative point of the current measurement block to resistor, and the end of the resistor to resistor. So this is a circuit. If you want, we can just drag and move the box of your choice. Okay. So now connect the voltmeter across the load. So positive to this point and negative to this point. So here also we need the voltage measurement across AC voltage. So if I want to flip the block, I have to click Control I. So if you click the Control I, it will flip. If you don't know the shortcuts, don't worry, just right click, you will get the properties. So just a second, the system was much slow. Okay, so this is a option. So in format, you can just select the font style of your block, and if you want to show the block name here, that is voltage measurement. So if I need to remove that, I can just go to format, and I uncheck the slow block name, it will move. So similarly, we have option for rotate and flip. So clockwise, anti-clockwise. So control R for ready and flip block. So for this control I. Okay, this is shortcut. So these are things we need. Now we need 3 monitors to measure. So instead of going for 3 scope, you will add 3 axes in your scope. Okay. So in the scope, I'm just adding 3 axes. One thing. Another thing, here you have to uncheck this point. Limit data points to last 5000. This is because of the memory. If you check this, if you run the simulation, it will store some of the points around. For that, to uncheck this point, and in the style you can change the thickness of your line. So here I will check the thickness of 3, and I will check the color as red color. Okay. If you want to change the axis color, you can make changes here. So just apply. So now we have 3 axes. So I am naming the axis in axis properties. In axis property, you can naming the title input voltage. Okay, this one for first one, and this is for output voltage. So similarly, this one is your output. Okay. So now we have added a scope. So just I am dragging this to make it bigger. So this one was to connected to your input waveform, and this one was to your output voltage, and this one to your output current. Okay, so now what is bending? So the bending thing is you have to add pulse generator for thyristor. That is one bending. You have to add power GUI block. Okay. If you want to zoom it, you can go to view. From the zoom, you can just click fit to view, so it will make it here. Okay, so now we're gonna add pulse generator. So pulse generator will be available in sources. So we need 4 pulse generator. So I'm just dragging copy, and you can just copy paste to create more. Okay. So here I gonna need 2 one. First I will edit first 2, and then I will add. So double click the pulse generator. So here we have the amplitude. The amplitude is the voltage of your pulse. So no need to change that. Here you have to change. This is period in terms of seconds. This time period. For us, 50 Hz is the time period, the frequency. For here the time period is 20 milliseconds. That is 0.02. Okay. So pulse width, this is nothing but the duty cycle or the width of your pulse. For that we can choose 10. Whatever may be, there is a no changes in your output. So this is the main thing. Phase delay. Here the phase delay is our firing angle. So they have asked this in terms of seconds. So if alpha is our firing angle, A into they are asking in terms of seconds. So I am multiply this by 0.02 divided by 360. So the 360 is mainly for angle. So if the firing angle is 30 means 30 divided by 360, which will be equal to 1 by 12 into 0.02, which will give the phase delay in terms of seconds. Okay. So this one. So the same pulse we have to give for this one. Okay. So because we are triggering the thyristor, this T3 and thyristor T1. So at the same time. So I am giving the same pulse generator for 2 thyristor. Okay. So this one. Similarly, we need a pulse generator for other 2 thyristor. So period 0.02 seconds. Pulse width we can take in here. So here you have to add alpha firing angle plus 180 because there is an interval of 180 degree between 2 firing angles. Okay, 0.02 divided by 360. The same thing you can copy and you can just add it here. So now most of the work we have completed. So only pending thing is you have to add your Power GUI block. Okay. So in this block we have Power GUI. So just add that. So now we have given the value of firing angle in terms of A. So A is taken as a variable. For that you have to give your MATLAB command window. A is equal to some value 30. So if you didn't give the value of A, it will show some error. So I have given the firing angle as 30°. And another thing we have to change is the AC voltage. So here the peak voltage is 325, that is 230 into 1.414, and frequency is 50 Hz. One thing we have changed. Now we can run our simulation. 0.1 second. Okay. So let us run and see how the output is the scope. So sometimes based on your system cache memory, the simulation or MATLAB simulation is getting slow. Okay. We didn't get anything. Let's run or not. So this is our output. So this is our AC input voltage and this is our output. So you can just compare the same with our diagram that I drawn in terms of amps. This is our alpha. So till this point our voltage is 0. Similarly for current, and till pi, after pi to pi plus alpha it is 0. So you can see the same in your graph. Okay, 0 to alpha. This alpha is nothing but 30°. Okay, from this point it is getting triggered and it was conducting till this point, that is 180. After 180 again this 0, that is 180 to 180 plus alpha. So this point was mainly due to T1 T3 and T2 T4 for this one. Since we are using R load, mostly voltage and current are in phase. Okay, so if I am changing the load into RL load, so you can simply change it here. So RL, so I am taking the inductor value as 1 example. Okay, nothing. So if you see the waveform now, so you can see output is getting negative. So before, if in the R load we have 0 for this point, now it is getting to negative voltage. So similarly, to see the current waveform, it is getting increased due to the charging of inductor. At some point it is getting the steady state value and reaching the maximum, again reaching the minimum point. So here the current is continuous and it never reaches the 0 point. Okay, even here the voltage is reaching the 0, but here the current is not reaching the 0. Okay, so this is the simulation of your 2-pulse full control converter with R load and RL load. If I change the value of A, for example, let us assume A is equal to 0. So it will act as a normal diode bridge rectifier. You can see it is similar to the diode bridge rectifier, and since this is the L load, output current is similar to first it started charging, after that it is showing like charging and discharging. So if I change the load to R load, so instead of RL, going for R load with the firing angle 0. Okay, then the output will be similar to your diode bridge rectifier. Okay, so this is what we can do with the firing angle. So by basis of the firing angle, we can control the output voltage and output current. Now we will change the load to same RL load, and we will change the firing angle is equal to 60. Okay, now run the simulation. So the output is like this. Okay, you can see the variation of both output voltage and output current. Okay, see, this is how negative voltage has an impact in your negative voltage. If the same firing angle is 90, so just watch the output now. Okay, so see now, because this is a peak point, so this is a 90, so we are getting triggering at this point. And see the current. So your current is now similar to sine wave, but it was not in phase with your output, sorry, input voltage, and you can see the output current is becoming negative. So and there was a equal portion. So portion of your positive and negative was same. So if we change the firing angle above 90, then the output voltage will be more negative compared to your positive. That is, power will be transferred from load to source. This is what we say full converter will act as two current converter. Now you see this picture. Okay, this is a 2 pulse full control converter. I already draw the Simulink block for the same. Okay. Just look the same. So you can see the difference between this block and this one. Sorry. So here you can see there was a clumsy of connecting the lines, but here you can see we have output in one side and we have other thing. So what is the difference is using two blocks, namely from block and go to block. So what these two blocks will do is to get the connection from one point. That is, from here we are giving the voltage waveform to VAC. So go to VAC, and here it is getting the waveform from VAC. That is called go to and from block. Okay. By using this, you can avoid the clumsy Simulink like this. So only one thing is now bending. We have to measure the average voltage, right? So for that we need of mean block. So already know it is in measurements. So in measurements we have mean block. Just adding the same. So this is for okay. So we need mean block, so I'm adding here. And similarly we need a display block, right? So recently used the display ID. So this is a display block. So this time I'm adding the same here. Okay. So for instance, I am changing the firing angle as A is equal to 30. Okay, now I'm running the simulation. So the output is nearly 199.1. Why? This is because the same mistake we had done previously. Let us change the fundamental frequency as 50. Now run the simulation again. So it is nearly 177.7 for RL load. Okay. So this is the simulation of pulse full control converter for R load and RL load. Now we can move to semi control converter. Okay. So this is what semi control converter. Okay. So this is a waveform. For here we have two configurations, that is symmetrical configuration and asymmetrical configuration. For symmetrical configuration, resistor and diode will arrange in same leg. It will be arranged parallelly. So a symmetric leg here and here. So this is called symmetrical configuration. So we will start. Already complete the simulation. So directly we will move to the simulation part before drawing the same and taking some time. So here you just compare the blocks of your symmetric block. So we need a AC waveform, AC voltage waveform here, and we need two thyristors. So T1 and T2 with the pulse generator. We have diodes here and we have the load here. So now I have to give the thyristor pulse, but only one difference is here the phase delay A into 0.02. Okay, and here it is A plus 180. So in the previous we have used 4 thyristor. Now it is just 2 thyristor. So we'll run the simulation. So you can see the graph. So for R load, this is the output graph of your semi-controlled converter. It is similar to your full control converter, because if I run the full control converter for with R load, let us assume the load as R load and I am running the same. Okay. So we'll see the output here. So if you compare both the output, this one and this one, so just both are same. Okay, so what you can infer from this, for R load can get the same output for full control converter and semi control converter. So in this way you can go for semi control converter because we need only two thyristors and two diodes, so we need of two pulse generator alone. If you are going for two current operation, that is control of negative voltage, you can go for full control converter. If you are just controlling only the positive voltage waveform, for single phase, you can go for semi control converter for R load. I am speaking about R load. If you go for RL load, for example, I am changing the full control converter to RL. Okay, just running the same. You can see the output here. Sorry. The system was slow, that's why editing. So this is the output. Now you can compare the same with full control converter with R load. So 2 pulse semi control converter with RL load. So this is a one. So here I chosen the R as 100 and 1 as the inductor value. Okay, so I will run the same and we will see the output form. So auto scale similar to your DSO function, right? So now you just check the output of, so this is the output of your semi control converter for RL load, and this one is for output voltage and current waveform for single phase full control converter with RL load. So here we have control of negative voltage and positive voltage. But for semi control converter we have only positive voltage around. So here is no negative voltage for RL load. So this is the difference, main difference between your full control converter and semi control converter. Okay. So just try the simulation on your own for semi control converter and full control converter with R load and RL load, and compare the voltage of R load and RL load for both the converters and just infer the points and let me know. Okay, so this is end of our video. So thank you guys. If you have any queries, just let me know in the comment section, or just ping me through WhatsApp or just call me. Okay, thank you guys.